M is for Mason.
G is for Graham.
B for Betcha.
This is the MGB Wrestling Podcast, the podcast with PG-rated material accessible to wrestling fans of all ages.
Alright, this is A9, our review of the Nova Project 4 that took place on Friday, September 21st at the Jewish Community Center in Annandale, Virginia. Okay, Mason, anything to talk about when we got there?
Well, the first thing we got there, it was kind of weird because you almost made the turn to go towards the fire station.
I did. I've stopped using the GPS because I figure I know how to get there. It's the same exit, but we've been going to that one. We can't even remember the last time we went to the JCC. It seems like it's been such a long time. I think the one when we were in England was at the JCC, so it's been a while since we've been at that one. And they also went to the Elks Lodge as well. All right, I'm thinking of something specific when we're actually inside waiting to get into our seats. Do I need to remind you? All right, you saw a wrestler and you mistakenly named him.
Okay, I knew what that was, but I just didn't want to say it.
All right, so Ken Dixon was there, who has been appeared at Nova Pro a few times. We see him more at VCW and MCW. And you got so excited seeing Ken Dixon, you said it was Brian Kendricks, which is kind of like Kendrickson. You were kind of got it mixed up. I thought that was kind of funny.
Okay, so what happened was I'm playing this video game and I have this. And Brian Kendricks is one of my wrestlers.
Okay.
I have, so that's why.
That was in your head. They do sound very similar. Now, it said doors were going to open at 7:30. And normally they let you in at like 7:20. And we had to wait until 7:30 for this one. Yeah. So anyway, we got in and we get to go in first because we were the front row. And actually, there was no messing around at all. Mm-hmm. We literally was like, where do you want to sit, Mason? We sat down and then the guy came on the mic and he's like, all right, should we get this started? And I was like, oh my goodness. They don't hang around. We know from experience that you go early because they always have pre-matches on. So should we get straight into match one?
Yeah.
All right.
My twin. Sahara 7, Jordan Blake.
All right, previous matches, Jordan Blade lost to Terra Calloway. That was at the Gauntlet match at Summer of George. As far as I can tell, Sahara 7, it might have been her debut. It's certainly not since we've been there in the last year anyway. All right, what you got for this one?
So, yeah, as you said, it started before people got in the door.
Yeah.
There was some people, like, in the hallway trying to look through, peeking. And
he must have been like, what the heck's going on? It says it starts at 8, and then they were starting at like 7:35.
I was too busy looking around, and we barely got our seats. All I have is the finish.
Oh, okay. Now, when actually Sahara 7 came in, I didn't actually recognize her.
Yeah,
we have seen her at MCW, but I just did not recognize her at all. And it was only when they announced it, I was like, oh, okay. And Jordan Blade, obviously, I recognize. I think this is probably our third or fourth time that we've seen her now. I don't have much for this one either, mainly because the match was only 4 minutes long. Yeah. It was pretty quick. And there were lots of blows to the head, so I did notice that. They were both doing like forearms to the head and hitting each other in the head. And that's pretty much all I had too. Sahara 7 gets the 1, 2, 3, and Jordan Blade was holding her head even as she was leaving. She sold that the whole way. Yes. I noticed all the way through the curtains, and I even tried to look, because sometimes the curtains separate, and then you think she was doing that the whole way, so I thought she sold that one pretty good.
That was a hard draw.
Match 2, Maynard Jackson versus Ted Keeper.
Okay, so in the previous one, the main attraction defeated the Carnies at the Summer of George. And the other team, I only know one of them. It's Huggy Bear. And he made his debut, and I'm not sure of the other person's name, but he's from Maryland.
Oh, I thought it was Fozzie Bear. I wrote down Fozzie Bear.
No, it wasn't.
That's what people were chanting.
Well, that's because his name was Huggy Bear. I think that was part of the reason. All right. Okay, what do you have for this one?
So what I have is for this one is Beau, he dropped Huggy Bear. I wrote Fozzie Bear.
All right, so you already got... Okay, let me get straight into what I had before. As soon as they announce who the ref is, there's chants all around for buff ref. The guy from the gated community has his sign there that says "Leave Beau." Beau leave. And it looked like it had duct tape over it because he ripped it up. Yeah. And you noticed, actually, as we were walking in, you were like, does he have a box of those signs? And I don't know, but it certainly looked like he had a box of them.
When he was done with them, he put them in the box.
Okay, so he's got a good supply of those. And sure enough, Beau ripped it in half again, and he just went ahead and got another sign out, I thought that was pretty funny. And there was also, while we're waiting, the new member of the main attraction. I'm not sure exactly what his name is. It's something like, he's at Viper something. I'm not sure I got his name down properly anyway. It might be further down in my notes. Let me see if I can find what it is. It's at Spitz_Venom. And his name is... Yeah, I didn't get his name down. But there was chance of Uncle Jesse. Now, I got confused. I didn't know what that reference was. I thought it was possibly Dukes of Hazzard, because there was a character called that in there. And then as we came home, we actually listened to Two-Faced Pod and with Kelsey, and they were talking about... Matt asked a question about recast Full House and Fuller's House using wrestlers. And they mentioned, Uncle Jesse. So I don't like Full House. I've seen like one episode, I hated it, and I didn't bother watching Fuller's House. So I can't confirm or deny that he looked like Uncle Jesse. But they did chant the same thing after the end of the match.
Yeah, so he reminds me of Brian Pillman Jr.
I can see why you'd say that. I can definitely see why you'd say that. The only other thing I got was you got a high five from this before we went.
Yeah.
That was your first high five of the match.
And Huggy Bear and this other guy, they didn't have any music.
No, they didn't. They just came straight out. All right, go ahead. Now you can tell us about the match.
Okay, so Beau, he dragged Huggy Bear to the other guys to tag him because he beat him up so bad. Like, Beau was actually beating somebody else, not the other way around.
I thought that was funny. Beau actually said he's done, and he was slumped against the ring post. And I actually mentioned with Huggy Bear, I said, to me, that was one of the highlights of the whole event. I thought that was really funny.
Yeah.
I've never seen that happen before. And we tend to have seen, like, you know what's happening. You've seen it before. I'd never seen that happen before. I like that.
So he was exhausted because later in the match, I saw him waiting for a tag, and then he just had his head down on the rope, pretending his eyes were drooping.
Yeah.
So I think he was really tired. So it's not easy to wrestle when you're absolutely exhausted.
Oh, I don't think he was exhausted. I think it's the fact that he took a hit. I think that might have been more to do with it. I don't think he's going to get tired in the middle of the ring. I have the other guy didn't last much longer either. They tagged in the other guy from the main attraction, and that was pretty much it. 1, 2, 3.
After the match, the Masked Villain and Sin, they came out, and then they were talking a lot, and then they were talking about who was in the first Nova Project. They were talking about Beau, and I called this, that the Masked Villain is Money Green, and then he took off his mask, and it was, so...
You were absolutely right. It was Money Green, yeah. Now, the new guys are actually very politically correct. They actually said SOB. They didn't even say the correct phrase. I thought that was kind of impressive. The other thing that you missed is when they came in, they were really scary looking. They reminded me, I think it's like Animal was one of the characters from WWE. Jake Hollister jumped into Beau's arms. He was so
yeah.
I thought that was pretty funny as well. Yeah, I don't have much for that. It sounded like the name was, I couldn't find it on Twitter. It sounded like they said their name is going to be the Cannibal Mercenaries. As far as I could tell, that's what
they remind me of, I can't remember the name, authors of Cain, not Connor and Victor, the Ascension.
Oh,
you know how they have the spikes on their shoulders?
Uh-huh.
They have the spikes on their shoulders.
They did.
So
I got a few quotes from Twitter. At Mandalorian, it's Beau time. Ugh. I have to give you and your tall meat mountain friend credit tonight. I don't know what the other effing team was, but you still suck. At DMichael1384, made my at VA Wrestling in-ring debut along with my team partner. The main attraction, at Spitzvenom and at Spitzbowtime, pretty much killed us. Hashtag Huggy Knowledge. So that's the guy who's Huggy Bear, and I still couldn't find out who the other person was.
Act 3. Cain Justice versus John Kermon.
Hey, Cain Justice last appeared in Old Dominion Rumble, so that's quite a while ago. And actually, John Kermon said that he'd been avoiding him, so this match took a long time. John Kermon's last appearance was in a gauntlet match, so I'm not going to read all those names out at American slang. Okay, take it away, Mason.
So the first thing was, I'm starting into the match.
Okay, all right. Shall I give you something before that then?
Yeah.
All right. Can you remember what you said about John Kermon before the match had even started? The fact that he wears no shoes.
Like, if he's at Thumbtack match, I wonder if he's actually going to put shoes on. Because I really got her hurt.
I would love to know the answer to that
Thumbtack
question. And I don't know. I don't know if he wears shoes, if he has that type of match or not, or if he can cope with that type of pain. The other one before the match was you went for a high five because we didn't recognize Cain Justice to begin with. And Cain comes over, looks like he is, and he just totally faked you out. And then we realized straight away, well, that guy's the heel. So, yeah. Okay, you can go into the match. I don't have anything before.
So Cain Justice, he's doing the heat gun finger Terminator.
Yep. I couldn't watch that part. That makes me really squeamish. I know this last weekend, people had talked about Matt Hardy with the ear thing, and they were all grossed out by that. That didn't bother me at all. But the fingers, I can't watch that.
So the Cain Justice, he has the Terminator on the outside, and they throws him into the post. But then what I think is most funny is after Kermon now in the ring, he goes and hugs the post. And that's all he had for the match.
All right. I also had a few other things. There was a stomp from John Kermon. Cain Justice gets thrown out of the ring and lands right next to Maddie, and she couldn't have looked any more bored by it. I don't think she was playing on the phone, but she just like, it was almost like she didn't even notice he was down there. Kermon applied a submission move, but he got lifted up and then slammed down. That was kind of impressive. Same thing happened again, but this time he didn't get slammed. He managed to fight out, but he made it across to the ring post. And I actually thought John Kermon was in control at that point. And then somewhere from nowhere, Cain just got him, rolled him up, and then got the 3 out of it. So I was really surprised by that. I didn't see that coming. The other thing I got right at the end of the match is Cain just exited the ring and he left through the entrance door, like where people were coming in. He didn't even bother going into the back. That was kind of surprising.
Match 4. Arik Royal versus 2 Scorpio.
All right, that was the end of the pre-show, and then they went into, this was around 8:05, I think it was. I think Powerbomb started at 8, but they probably had some video packages to show. Arik defeated John Skyler at the Summer of George, and Too Cold Scorpio was making his debut, and that was widely put out on Nova.
Okay, so Too Cold Scorpio came out, and he was high-fiving everybody, and then he high-fived me, and then he grabbed my hand, which I wasn't expecting, and then he raised my hand and said something like, "Look at this guy," or something.
He was cool. He was interacting with the crowd, and he was fun.
Yeah, and when Arik came out, he was high-fiving people, and then he saw a guy with a Lakers shirt, and it was actually a LeBron James shirt.
Yep.
And then he said, "Hey, this guy's got the shirt."
And somebody actually behind us shouted, "It's a heel turn," because I guess LeBron's not very popular now. He's moved to the Lakers. I got a few other things. Brian Hughes finally came out, the announcer, because he never does the pre-show, and he announced the fact that this is going to be the kickoff to year 4. I also got, just before the match started, Scorpio spit in the corner.
Yeah.
And then he rubbed it in with his foot. Now, I didn't see the point of that. I was like, is this going to appear later in the match? Now, I don't know if it might be one of his old gimmicks. I remember him, but I don't remember him well. I remember that he was good, but it was kind of when I was only just starting watching wrestling. I didn't really know that one. Okay, anything for the match?
Yeah.
Now, I should say, you actually told me as we left, you're like, I don't have much for a lot of these matches. They were so good that I was just watching them, and I missed them. So be aware that Mason's not going to have as much as he normally does.
This one I have a decent amount. So Arik Royal, he has like Too Cold Scorpion and like an arm bar, and then he grabs the rope, and then he like does a flip to reverse it.
That was cool.
Which I thought is really cool.
Yeah, someone shouted he still got it as well at that point. Yes. Now, I got a couple of things actually before that move happened. Right at the start, when they sort of squared off against each other, and then when they broke, Scorpio actually did a little dance and started backing off, and it was like, oh! And then the next time they did it, Arik Royal backed off and did the same thing. He was like, yay, yay! So they were playing with each other a little bit, and there was definitely some entertainment at the start.
So Arik Royal, he suplexed Too Cold Scorpio, and then the expression on his face was so funny.
It was great. I had that he sold that really well. I like that.
And then there was a chant that was PC Cold, which is PCO and Too Cold.
Oh, is that what they were saying?
Yes.
I couldn't figure out what they were saying.
So I thought that was a really smart chant, and it sounds cool.
I don't know how old he is. I think he's a similar age to PCO, so that would actually make a lot of sense.
He kind of looked a little bit like Tony Allen.
Well, when he walked in, I could see that, because you mentioned that, and I could totally see that from a distance, yeah. Now, I have a few other things from the match. Scorpio was about to do a suicide dive, and Arik just backed away until he was like miles away. There was no way he could do any flip on him. Arik was about to do a suicide dive on Scorpio, and from our view, it looked like he rolled under the ring, so you couldn't actually do that as well. I also got on here, Scorpio did repeated hits to his chin and stomach. He kept like alternating. They were really impressive, because we were right on the side view. They looked like they hit. This reminded me of a story I heard about Ric Flair. They said that Ric Flair was the best because he would throw full power punches, but it would only just catch you because he could time them perfectly. And I think that's what Scorpio was doing as well. It looked like he was throwing them full power, and they were contacting, but obviously not if they contacted full power, they would have knocked Arik out. Scorpio misses with 2 kicks and gets suplexed, and that's the one you talked about. Scorpio did a flip from the top rope, kick out at 2. He did a back flip from the top rope, kick out at 2. There's some really good images of that on Twitter that I actually reposted for some. Arik jumps from the rope, pushes Scorpio in the face backwards to the ground, and that's what actually led to 1-2-3.
Okay, so I have one more thing.
Okay.
That Scorpio did a moonsault,
Mm-hmm.
which was really cool. And then surprisingly, he only got a 2 count.
Yeah, that was the one. Yeah, it was a perfect 450. When you watch it in slow motion, he landed it absolutely perfectly. Now, I got a couple of other things. At one point, somebody was cheering for Arik. Do you remember the woman who was cheering?
Yeah.
And Scorpio told her to sit down and then like, shh. That was Cain Justice's mama.
Oh, what?
It says, I'm Mama Justice was the tweet. He says, the only person who can tell me that is Cain Justice. So now I know who that person is. Also, after the match, they actually went and they started putting their foreheads next to each other and like pushing each other backwards and forwards. But then actually they extended their hands and they shook hands, and it was good sportsmanship. And I think they really respected each other. Also, right at the end, that's the loudest please come back I've ever heard. Everybody wanted him to come back. The thing I was most disappointed about was I wanted him to come back. He wasn't selling merch. I was really hoping we were going to see him later, try and get an autograph.
Like PCO.
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that, but it was kind of a shame. I know we would have liked to have seen him for sure. He was a good one.
Scorpio at the end of the match.
They definitely had some respect for each other, that's for sure. Now, I got one other tweet here. I think it's at Vikita Who. Two called Scorpio must be drinking from the same youth fountain as PCO. Crazy. And I would agree. Yeah, they don't look, if whatever their actual ages are, they were definitely going at it like they were still 20s and 30s, which was great to see.
Match 5. Luke Miss Breaux versus Faye Jackson.
Faye Jackson beat Barbie Hayden at Summer of George in her last outing, and Lou Fisto, last time we saw her, she actually beat Faye Jackson at Cupid's Chokehold, which is actually what brought this match to happen. Hey, anything before the match?
Okay, so Ricky, he was holding a sign.
And we actually have an interview with Ricky, so we'll find out a little bit more about what he said actually later. I don't have anything for the pre-match at all, unless you want to talk about what happened in the match.
So, Faye Jackson, she's up on the top rope, giving like 10 punches to Lou Fisto, and then a fan shouts out, "One more!"
They never do 11. It always is. Is that a rule that you got to stop at 10, or is that just the referee didn't stop it?
The referee was counting.
Okay.
Okay, and then Faye Jackson brought her out, Lou Fisto outside the ring, and a fan held her arm.
Mm-hmm.
I think he asked her to.
Yeah.
But he still held the arm.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have done that.
I don't think they'd have asked a kid to do it, but no. It was kind of funny. And she got a big chop.
Yeah,
Now, one thing I got for this one, when they were on the outside, and they were on the outside for quite a while, and the ref kept going, "Come on, bring it back inside, and they didn't. And then finally, they actually came in. Luke Fisto came in, and the ref, she's like, "Are you happy now?" And the ref confirmed that, yes, he was happy. But yeah, they weren't being very helpful and following his instructions. Okay, anything else for this match?
I have that Faye Jackson, she did a sunset flip for the win on Lou Fisto, which was really cool, and I actually skipped the line in my notes. Lou Fisto, she was getting beat up, and then she said, "At least my hair is real."
She did. She was stood on her hair and she was pulling her arms up, but yeah, she definitely said that one. Now, also, I got for this one as well. When Faye did get up, she actually cussed Lou Fisto out in a non-PG moment, and actually did like a roll along the floor. It actually looked really cool. She got fired up at that point. And that's what actually won it. Yeah, I got Faye had a power bomb for the 1, 2, 3. Now, I couldn't remember, because this is an important segment when we do our Nova Pro. Was this when you went to the bathroom?
No.
Okay, do you remember which match that was?
I think it was the 4th.
Oh, okay. I knew it was one of the. I knew it was before the intermission, and I couldn't remember which one it was. So I was going to ask if you had a specific story. And I'm going to put a shout out to the Blade Job Show. You need to stop stealing our segment, guys. I heard you on the last one reviewing. I think it was Beyond Wrestling. And you were talking about what happened when one of you went to the bathroom and you met a wrestler. And you know that's MGB stuff. You guys got to stay off that.
Match 6. Jack Fuller, Isaiah Fraser, Mack Beckley.
Okay, Isaiah Frazier and Josh Fuller had a draw at Summer of George, which is why this match happened again. But also Mack Buckler was thrown into this one as well, make it a triple threat match. He lost in an 8-man match as the opener at Harlem Nights a few months previous. Before the match, anything?
So Ricky, he's holding up a sign that said like before and after. And it was a before of, I don't know who it was.
It was somebody from the TV show Stranger Things, which I've heard of, but I don't watch. And then the after picture was of Josh Fuller. And it did look funny. But he also said, didn't he say, "You're scared of me" or something?
Josh fears me.
Oh, there you go.
And then, so Josh and Ricky still have a feud, and then Ricky, he flipped in the bird and then did the DX sign, which is kind of funny.
And he'll talk to us about that when we get to our little interview that we had at Intermission as well. We want to know from his perspective what happened for that. I also got for this one, the ring announcer pauses when he's reading out Josh's weight. He's like, Josh Fuller weighing in at 220. He's clearly not 220 pounds. Josh also made a cheap shot at Coach Gator.
Yeah.
He actually released a video beforehand saying that his doctor said that he needed to stay away from Nova Pro. So, yeah, he wasn't ringside, actually, to help Isaiah Frazier for this one. Okay, let's get to the match then. What we got?
Josh Fuller and Mack Buckler are friends, so Josh, he does not really want to fight Mack. So he keeps pleading to Mack that he won't get punched in the face by him too. So that was kind of funny. And then so Mack, he lays down for Josh Fuller, pretending that he's gonna let Josh win the crab wrestling thing.
Correct. Yeah, they took Isaiah Frazier out, and it looked like he was gonna let him win. And did he?
Nope, he kicked out, and then Josh Fuller was so mad.
That was kind of funny, and I honestly thought, I was like, oh my gosh, he's going to be the new champion. But yeah, Matt wasn't having any of that. Now, I should say at the start, Isaiah Frazier had a lot of the momentum. Even though they tried to double team him, he was the one who was winning until that moment that you just talked about. I also have at this point, Josh Fuller starts to hide under the ring. I don't know if he wanted to tire the other two out. He used that tactic at the Commonwealth Cup as well, I think. Not the Dominion Rumble. He hid out of the way, and then I think he was going to come back later. One of the moves. Isaiah Frazier does a spinning move over the side of the ring and took out Mack Buckler.
I was writing notes at that point, so all I saw was him on mid-air flying. Oh,
he's good. I'll show you the clip later. Somebody posted it from the other side of the ring where it happened. It looked good from where we were. It looks even better from that side. I also got Josh Fuller gets thrown into a ring post. What else have you got?
I have that Isaiah, that he flies out, and then Gator comes out.
All right, so you'll skip. Okay, I've got a couple more things before we get to that then. Mack Buckler actually pins Isaiah Frazier, and really weird, he has called the ref over. It's like, come on, count. And then the ref gets into position, and it's like 1, 2, and they kick out. Okay, why is the ref not getting into position? Isn't that the whole point of the ref's job, to actually count? Yeah. The fact that the ref had to be told, you need to come over here, that was pretty poor. Now, I'm sure that was part of the storyline, but I just thought that looked really weak. If you don't have a ref who doesn't even know what they're doing. I also got Josh and Mack got repeated uppercuts while they're in opposite corners. He just kept running from one side to the other and doing uppercuts, which I thought was really good. And then I'm right where you are right now. I got Coach Gator comes out.
Yeah, Coach Gator comes out to distraction for Isaiah win, and then he's all happy with Isaiah. Yeah. And then Big Beef, Mikey Banker, and 2 other people come and attack Isaiah with...
I have all the people.
Okay.
Mikey Banker, Jake Garvin, Satu Gin, I think it is, or it might be Jin, and Brian Johnson. I think Brian Johnson's the one who's known as number 1. We've seen him before.
Yes. So, and Coach Gator, he was not even trying, and we were confused. And then he started clapping, and he started supporting Isaiah Frazier, but I couldn't really hear why he wanted to attack him.
I couldn't figure that part out either. I didn't think that made a lot of sense. I think a lot of people on Twitter were very unhappy by that as well. They didn't like that heel turn at all. I don't think that he held him back. That's normally the argument. But yeah. I'm saying he had a match against Nick Aldis for the NWA title. He's held the Crab title. I thought that was kind of strange. But we'll have to see how that plays out. But it was cool to see Coach Gator there. Yes. I did not expect to see him there. I really thought that he had some serious health concerns. So I'm glad that he's not as bad as it at first appeared.
Next 7, Tim Donst versus Breaux Keller.
All right, Tim Donst and Wheeler Yuta lost to Homicide and Nick Gage. And as Homicide didn't turn up for this one, and Tim Donst called him out in the middle of the ring, I couldn't find any reason online why he didn't turn up for this one. There were a couple of people who didn't make it. Skyler was supposed to be there, and she had car trouble. Hollow Horror was supposed to be there, and she had a flight that she missed or was not connected properly on time, so she couldn't make it. Didn't hear any reason why Homicide wasn't there. Breaux Keller stepped. Now, I can't find Breaux Keller's last match, but I can tell you Cool Caution Kyle was in the opener in an 8-man match at Harlem Nights, which he actually won. So that was the last match I could find from those. Anything pre-match?
So I have no notes for 6 matches because I was so into them. And this one, the Ducks match, Jake Well,
all right, so I'm just talking for the rest of the episode, pretty much. Then.
No. Sometimes you remind me of things, and then it reminds me of
all right, well, I'm going to tell you. You actually picked up that he was wearing the Intense Wrestling belt. He actually had that as the championship. I actually found out that's the AIW title that Tim Donst won.
And I remember one more thing that Tim Donst, he was high-fiving us, and then he acknowledged us and said, "I like your podcast."
Tim actually did say that this was his big chance. I like Breaux Keller. I think he has a lot of energy, and this was a huge chance for him in a big match. Tim Donst's a big character at Nova Pro, and he actually started taunting him. Like, you want to be on the pre-show all your life? Tim flies out. Breaux had 2 failed suicide attempts through the ring. He was about to do it, and Tim ran into the ring each time, so he didn't quite get to do that. However, he was successful on the third one. I'm going to show you the clip for that later. We couldn't see it from where we were. He looks like he's suspended in air. It looks like somebody in the movies, like when they put the ropes on him and then lift them up. He just got so much height on that jump. It looked really cool.
Yeah, like, he jumps half the ring and he gets so much height on him.
Yeah, it looks unreal. If you didn't know, you'd think there was like a trampoline on the inside. All right, Tim's on the outside. I'm going to feed this one to you. What happened? He's on the floor near Maddie.
Tim's on the outside, and Tim, he gets a quick drink of water, and then he closes it.
Do you want to say where he got the drink of water from? He went to like the water fountain or something?
Like
he did. He asked the fan, can I get a drink? He took a sip and then he continued. Actually, I have them actually on opposite sides of the ring at this point, and they both managed to just break the 10 count. They both got in at like 9, because it was kind of close. Also, he's taunting Breaux again. He kicks him in the face and says, "I told you, this is your chance." Breaux started giving yes kicks to Tim. Now, I started doing a little bit, yes, and I saw a couple other people do it. It never really caught on. I wasn't trying to do it too much, but everyone knew it was a yes kick, but no, it never really caught on too much. What else do I have? Oh, Tim held Breaux in the air for ages. It was like Bobby Lashley, and after a while, I was like, oh my God, it's like 30 seconds, 45 seconds. I don't know how long it was. It was a long time.
Breaux flies outside the ring, and then Tim gets inside the ring. Well, didn't he miss?
Miss what?
The suicide dive.
I don't know because I don't have that part.
Suicide dive, and Tim brings him in the ring and gives him a pile driver for the win.
Yeah, I got Tim flies from the top rope, and there's a kick out at 2, and then like you said, the finish exactly as you had. What else do I have? Oh, I thought it was a clean win. However, the people to the side of us said Breaux Keller's foot was on the rope. So I don't know, because they were going, check the replay. I don't know. I haven't had a chance yet. I'm not sure when it comes up on Powerbomb TV. It was under the rope. Now, they called that on some of the other ones. To me, that's not enough. I think you've actually got to be on the rope. But anyway, so not sure. Great match, though. Tim raises Breaux's hand. I will tell you, the reaction from Twitter was huge. That was what I saw more of. There was 400 tweets that had the hashtag Nova Project 4. Everybody was really impressed with Breaux Keller. It looks like that he's probably going to be get a lot more ring time, if it's based on the reactions of the fans anyway. I got quite a lot of different tweets that I got for this one. At Scott Nick Moore, at Breaux Keller, at Tim Donst are 2 of my favourite performers in at VA Wrestling, and they just showed why. I truly hope Breaux is able to get a chance in next year's Commonwealth Cup, because darn if he doesn't impress every time. Do I really need to say more about Tim Donst? I don't think so. At Commander Clark 8, made it to hashtag Nova Project 4 after all. Fun show, well-paced. Breaux Keller is the star of the first half, in my opinion. Very high praise here. Last time I talked about Prince of Pro and said, shouldn't he be the Prince of Nova Pro? Well, I've got an even better one for you. At the real Dr. D, FYI, can Nova Pro become Nova Bro? New shirt, marketing, I want 10%. Seriously, LOL. No, really. I think that's a great idea. Yes. I said straight away, I was like, I want an extra large. If they have a Nova Bro shirt, I would definitely wear that. I think that would be really cool. Jasmine McKenzie got in on this as well. Yeah, even though she wasn't there. The at Breaux Keller diet sounds really dangerous. Hashtag Nova Project 4. All right, now Mason's pulling a face here. I actually responded and said, I'm going to mess with my kids later and tell them they're going on the diet, and then tell them it's the Breaux Keller diet. I don't think you could even guess what the Breaux Keller diet is, so I'm going to tell you. Cookies and peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. That's what I thought. I thought you'd like that one. Jazza was obviously impressed with that one as well.
Match 8. The Ugly Ducklings versus the Hooligans.
Okay, last time we saw the Ugly Ducklings, they defeated Pop Culture at the Summer George. And last time we saw the Hooligans at the same place, they defeated the Philly Marino Experience. All right, pre-match. I know you don't have anything for this, Mason, so I'm going to go straight away. Rob Killjoy took the camera away from the photographer's eye while he was trying to do his job and gave him a kiss. I thought that was kind of funny.
Oh, I saw that.
And actually, the Hooligans never really got a chance to get into the ring. As soon as they walked in, there was suicide dives from Rob and Lance, and they took them straight out. I don't know if this match ever officially got carded. So I'm not going to ask you what about the main match. What do you have after they actually started fighting with each other? Oh, we should have said straight away, this was billed as a ducks, ladders, and chairs match.
For the pre-match, they brought out basketballs, and they started throwing basketballs at each other, which is really hard because basketballs, they can bounce and hit somebody in the crowd. So they had to throw it at them and, like, use their hands and, like, swat the ball down.
Rob picked up 3 rebounds on one of them. I don't know if it was Mason or Devon Cutter he threw it at, but he threw it, bounced back, threw it again, bounced back, and then threw it for a third time. It looked pretty cool.
They had to throw it at him, and in the ring, like, I can't remember who, but one of the Ugly Ducklings threw one at the Hooligan, and it bounced out the ring, and then you hit it, and then it rolled into the ring. Yeah,
I got one. I had a chance. I just couldn't quite get my hand ready quick enough. But yeah, I fumbled it a little bit. And I got a few other things as well at the same time. Rob was throwing Twizzlers into the crowd. I don't know where he got those from. I think Lance was strangling one of the guys with a streamer as well that had been thrown. There was a lot of stuff going on.
Like the 6-pack of Coke.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. He had it wrapped around his face. It reminded me of Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa when he had the neck the knee brace around him. It kind of looked a little bit like that. I know you said you don't have much for this written down. So what happened when the ladder went up in the ring?
Okay, before the whole entire Nova Pro, we saw the ladder being broken in.
We did, yes.
And I said that it would make more sense to be at the fire department because they have ladders there already.
That's true.
So that would make more sense, but the one time they actually need some ladders, they go to the wrong place. So they have a ladder, and then they pulled it out. It was one of those tiny ladders. It was barely above the ring.
Yeah, it wasn't much more than a step ladder.
And then, like, it was Lance and one of the Hooligans. I don't even know.
No, it was Rob. Rob was on the ladder.
Oh, Rob was on the ladder?
All right, let me take over since you don't remember this part at all. Normally you have the ladders there because you're trying to reach a championship belt. Rob gets to the top there and he's reaching and he's swatting at something because there's no champion. This is not what this is for. I don't even know what the ladders were there for, really, except to injure each other. And then one of the Hooligans got up and did the same thing as well. And, of course, there was no belt there. All right, anything else, Mason?
No.
Oh, really? Wow, okay. All right, a ladder was set up in the corner, and one of the Hooligans was facing it. And then Lance slid through his legs, caught the bottom of the ladder, sending the ladder into his face, which I thought looked really cool. Yes. That was a really cool effect. Now, the part I'm surprised, because I even told you this, is called a Ducks, Ladders, and Match. And Ducks, Ladders, and Chairs. We haven't mentioned the Ducks yet, so I'll keep going then. Rob gets the bag of ducks, and I think everyone in the crowd knew what was coming.
Yeah.
I don't think it was a surprise to anybody, and he tries to empty them, but he gets thrown onto a ladder, so that didn't actually work. It was actually the Hooligans who actually threw the ducks onto the floor. Now, they kept trying to suplex each other, but it was 2-on-2, and they kept turning around. Like, for people who know a scrum in rugby, it was like that. They kept trying to position each other so they could suplex each other onto the ducks. Coach Mikey came in, made it a 3-on-2 advantage, and they did actually suplex them. What did you say about the ducks ahead of time? Can you remember? You're like, are they rubber ducks, or are they like...
Oh, are they rubber ducks, or like... one of those or the ones you put in a bath, or like those hard ones that don't have a hole in the bottom with air.
I think they were the rubber ones. Somebody posted on Twitter, what if they had sulfuric acid inside them? I know that as I don't give the Ugly Ducklings any ideas. That would be absolutely insane. I know he was joking, but I thought that was kind of funny. There was a launch pad at Quack, and it actually got broken up by a chair shot by the Hooligans, which I managed to record and post, which was really cool. Lance got tied to a chair with duct tape, and he got fastened up.
That's
Rob laid on a chair, and the Hooligans combined to flip on him, and he managed to kick out at 2. A chair went over Lance's neck, and he was about to get hit with a chair, and then Coach Mikey stepped in. He's like, no, you're not doing that. So they put the chair over him instead, and we're about to issue that. And then a really cool move, which I'm going to use at Dylan Waco to describe this one. Killjoy just springboarded off the chair, covered head of Coach Mikey. What on earth? It looked really impressive. Jumped off his bag and then did like a double drop kick. It was really cool.
Chair on his back.
Correct. Oh, it looked fantastic. Now, I heard some cheers also of EC Duck. Now, I don't know if you know what that one. You picked up the other. Correct, ECW. So I thought that was a really good count as well. And to finish, both Hooligans were in the corner, and this time they did actually get the launch pad McQuack.
With the chair on
And Lance still had a chair strapped. Yes. Or Hans still had the chair strapped to his back, which was pretty good. And you actually managed to pick up a streamer right at the end, and you threw it straight at Rob.
So they were like the Hooligans and the ref were there, and then I got it right in the middle of them.
So you've thrown a streamer at Shazza McKenzie, and now you've thrown a streamer at Rob. So I think that's 2 for 2. That's pretty good aiming. Your coach is going to be really happy at your pitching ability. Now, I have a lot of tweets for this one as well, I think. At Pocket Volcano, oh my god, it's good I'm not there. I collect rubber duckies. I'd be storming a ring to get those now. Now, I actually saw Maddie got one, I think.
Yeah.
Somebody else at Commander Clark 8. I don't think there is a surer guarantee of a great time at a show than the at 3 Mother Duckers. And I would agree with that. Whenever they ask what's the best matches, I normally, from your account, post the Ugly Ducklings, and then from my account, I post Donst or vice versa. And those two are traditionally always tend to be, you're getting a good match, no matter what. Not saying there's not other good matches, but you know that they're right up there. I actually said to the guys afterwards, I don't know how you keep raising the standard. Every time I'm like, wow. And then each time somehow they manage to make it even better. Now, this was actually the last match before they actually went to intermission. I think that was for Powerbomb TV's benefit. They did actually announce WrestleMania weekend that Nova Pro is going to be there.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That will be very cool. Now, by the time I got home, there was already 50 retweets for that and 100 likes before I'd even gone to bed. So that's got a lot of notice from people.
How are they in WrestleMania weekend? How does that work?
Well, WrestleMania is going to be Sunday evening.
Yes.
They said that they're going to do Saturday, and it looks like it's going to be Saturday at lunchtime. So I know that there's also, on the Saturday evening last year, there was the Ring of Honor Supercard, and I think there was also another one. It might have been the Impact one as well. NXT as well. NXT Takeover
So
obviously
they have
is
their
also.
own little show out there.
There's lots of shows, and they often run at the same time, and you can pick what you go to. Nova Pro would obviously run at lunchtime because people aren't going to pick Nova Pro over one of the other big ones, Ring of Honor or NXT Takeover. I'm assuming it'll be a lot cheaper as well. And then that led us into the intermission. So, what do you have for the intermission, Mason?
So during my bathroom break, I asked Mike where Jean-Jean Lebon was, and he said that he hasn't seen him since the Rumble, so I didn't really get anything, but he was smiling.
And I actually said on one of the things, Logan's definitely going to win. The only question is who interferes in that match, and we weren't sure who it was going to be.
Like Bobby, he already did that before, so I thought it might be Gunner, but he's injured. But he could at least have a promo. And
he could distract like Gator did. He doesn't have to come in and knock anybody out.
Or
that
like
could happen.
Arik Royal or somebody could take both out, so nobody has to leave.
Yep.
That's a smart choice.
Yeah, we thought about like a disqualification, so they both managed to stay. But we'll get to that match in a little bit. We do have an interview with Ricky, which we're going to play. We also talked with the Ugly Ducklings for a little bit as well. And we looked for Scorpio, but unsuccessfully. We looked for Too Cold Scorpio, but we didn't manage to find him at all.
So we've had a couple of matches that you've been featured in heavily so far. So Mason, go ahead, ask us the first question.
So what happened between you and Josh?
Well, as you may not notice, it all started back in 11 Dimension. I was at front row, and Josh Ford came in, and I thought to myself, he looks like Mike from Stranger Things. So I kind of thought to myself, hey, this is my chance to roast him. That's what today's youth call roasting. Anyways, I roasted him, and he called me Steve from American Dad, and that's what started to be between me and Josh. And it went on to Twitter, so...
And I remember last time as well that there was a little bit between you.
Yeah, and I pushed him, which, of course, he's scared.
And that's what your sign says as well.
Yeah,
now,
he is.
We took pictures, so we're going to post them with a tweet that's going to mention that you're going to be on the MGB podcast as well.
Yeah.
So you'll be able to see the sign that Ricky actually made. And also, I know that you're a big Faye Jackson fan as well.
Oh, I am.
So tell us about your second sign.
That's my boo thing. My sister and I, we worked on it. And, but yeah, long story short, my booth thing and I, we had a good connection since Commonwealth Cup 2017. And the poster, I'm thinking, maybe she'll definitely see it and she's just gonna love it. So that's why her milkshake brought me to the yard, and that's why the sign came to be.
And then what happened at the end of that match then?
Oh boy, well let's just say I got a little lucky. I just got a kiss on the cheek.
We saw that from where we didn't see everything because obviously she had her back to us, but we kind of got from your reaction. Tell us what happened afterwards after you got the kiss.
Let's just say I pulled a little Ric Flair drip on her. That's right, I pulled a little Ric Flair drip. Woo! But you know me, I'm just a regular Nova Pro super fan.
Alright, I think that should do it for us. We got to go and catch some people. I know you like to get merch as well, Ricky.
I will.
Thank you for spending a couple moments talking to us, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Alright, thank you.
Match 9. Cain Dixon, Jake Parnell, Skyler, Graham, Unsigned, Steve Manders.
6-man tag team. I must have missed some tweets. I did not know Jake Parnell was going to be there. I didn't know Graham Bell was going to be there. I put for this one, there was just way too much going on. It was great to see Warhorse. We didn't bring the Graham Bell photograph because we know he still owes us an autograph. We have his picture. I think he just says, hi, thanks Mason on it right now. Yeah. Or to Mason, but we didn't actually get his autograph. We messed up on that one. I do have one thing for this. You put your hand out for a high five, and I did too. And then he actually punched the hand, and you got injured.
I got it like a burn on my like he punched it so hard.
He's a Warhorse. He got excited by it. Are we going to sue him?
No.
Okay, go on. Tell us what you got.
Okay, so I have Graham Bell actually with the bazooka.
Yeah, he got it back. Yeah.
And clothesline on the apron. I have that.
I saw something like that as well. I put a spear on the apron by John Skyler, but yeah, that was like that's gonna be really dangerous. Yeah. That can really hurt.
The apron is the hardest thing on the. It's like metal, right? Like remember when Titus?
Oh, it'll hurt.
Like when he fell, like the ring apron went up, and you could see that there's metal, and then that's
when he slid under the Greatest Royal Rumble.
Yes. Yeah, and then there's wood. That's the only thing that's covering it. And that still.
Yep.
But
now about the bazooka, a quote from Graham Bell. It's been nearly a year. I searched high and low for the man that took it, and when I found them, they slipped through my fingers time and time again. But tonight, I got #Justice for Zook, and my beautiful bazooka made its return to @VA Wrestling. Now let's get to work.
Did he name his bazooka?
Apparently. Sounds like it. I have one other thing as people walked in. Steve Manders came through. We've seen him before. I think he used to play football for the Iowa Hawkeyes, I think it is. And he lifted a little kid up from who was just behind us into the air. I can remember who it was. And actually, I saw from Maddox, you mentioned who it was. It was actually his nephew. Do you remember there was the chance of Uncle Steve?
Yeah.
That was his nephew. I forgot that. I thought it was his son to begin with. So that was kind of a cool moment as well. I'm sure that kid will remember that bit.
Okay, so I have a suicide dive from Graham Bell and a double stomp by Jake Parnell, and Graham kissed his bazooka.
That was at the end of the match after it had finished. Now, I actually have the buff ref actually stopped the suicide dive from Graham Bell. People were actually moving out of the way from it, but then he actually jumped up on the rope, used the ref's hand to steady him, and then did a flip from the top rope, which was kind of cool. Also, when Jake was on the floor near us, I was like, let's go, Jake! And he said, I'm going as fast as I can.
He said, okay, I am. And then you said, okay, in a minute. And then he said, okay, I'm going as fast as I can.
That's right. You're right. I misquoted that. I also got Jake to the drop kick from the rope and took out people, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah.
And for the ending then, John Skyler has Jake on his shoulders and actually rolls him up. And everyone from the outside looked like they were going to break it up. And none of them quite made it. If it had been a 4 count, they would have got it. But no, that was it. That was the end of the match. Everyone was a little surprised, actually, I think.
Match 10. Garrini, Dave Phillips versus Kevin Coop, Dominic, Garrini.
Previous match, Dominic Garrini beat Kevin Koo at Summer of George, and Sage Phillips beat Jonathan Gresham at Summer of George as well, and both those paired up this time. Now, one thing about that last match, Sage Phillips and Jonathan Gresham, that match went 27 minutes. In the previous one. I didn't realise that. I was enjoying that match, and I didn't really notice. The next longest match, just to give you some idea, was 13 minutes, and that was Arik Royal over John Skyler.
Illegal to tag under the top rope. And Jonathan Gresham, he got thrown outside next to us, and I saw him chewing gum.
Oh,
so,
you did?
Lots of the wrestlers chew gum.
Huh, I didn't notice that at all.
The wrestlers hide it well. I can't even see their mouth moving, really. But
I
don't
why
pay
they do
attention
that.
to that.
That's interesting.
Eric does it. I saw that. Gunner does it. You could choke. That's a choking hazard.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I've never noticed that.
Major League Baseball players do.
But they're not getting clotheslined, and they're not getting slammed, and they're not getting dropped and kicked in the face, and all those things as well.
If you get kicked in the face, like Lance, he gets the saliva spit out of him.
That's Rob again, but I got you.
Rob
does that brilliantly.
Yeah.
It looks really effective.
And so, if that happens with the gum, it would be disgusting.
Now, I'm surprised you missed this observation. Gresham and Sage came out first. Before they even sort of got into the ring properly, Kevin Q and Dominic Garrini rushed out. They knocked over the entrance curtain.
Yes.
And you could see everything behind. Kind of and there was we were looking straight through that. We could see a wrestler walked out, realized the curtain had gone, and then just quickly vanished. I thought that was kind of funny. All right. Gresham and Q started off, and there was lots of outside interference in this one. As soon as there was any chance of a 1-2, you knew somebody was coming up and they were breaking it up. John Gresham was really struggling to get a tag, but he eventually got Sage in. I do want to say a couple of things about Jonathan Gresham. We've seen him a couple of times in the last few weeks. We were lucky enough to see him on Ring of Honor in his match with Jay Lethal. Very, very impressive. We've said a lot, or I've certainly said, I think he's one of the best technical wrestlers. I love to watch his matches. And also this week he was on with Bully Ray. I think that's how he goes by. And same thing. I like to see him. I think, and actually Jay Lethal played him a really big compliment. Yeah. He said like all the big matches he's had over years, and we were like AJ Styles. It's like whoa, Samoa Strong,
yeah, and AJ Styles, and then he says that Jonathan Gresham is the best one out.
Yeah, no, I thought that was
AJ
really
Styles
good.
Is the WWE champion, and you put Gresham.
That's very high praise for him on that one. Anyway, he did manage to tag in. Kevin and Gresham both fly into the crowd, and they actually hit a guy with a knee brace.
Yes.
That he really looked like he was in pain. Obviously, he's a supporter, not a wrestler, and he looked like he was in pain. Now, at the end for this one, I got Gresham as an octopus stretch on Dominic Garrini. Sage is keeping Kevin in the corner, and I honestly thought they were going to win.
Yeah.
And then he actually managed to get Sage, and I think he lifted him up and threw him onto him to break it up. And it worked perfectly, and Dominic pinned Gresham, and it was over. I was kind of disappointed. I would have liked that match to go on a little bit longer.
Match 11. Logan Easton Laroux versus Alexander James.
Logan Easton Laroux beat Marco Stunt at the Summer of George, and Alexander James beat Bobby Shields at that same event. Okay, anything for the pre-match?
Okay, no.
All right.
I have one thing for the match.
Okay, usual entrances. There was the 1% thrown up. The one thing I didn't hear was Logan.
Yeah, they did that.
It wasn't as loud as it normally is, then, that's for sure. Logan looks like he has new ring attire, as far as I could tell. AJ had gold boots. I'm not sure if they were new or not.
Oh.
Okay, what do you got for the match then? Or what was your one observation?
So, Alexander James is on the outside, and Logan, he suicide dives. His head was about an inch from that guy with the knee brace.
Oh, I remember you saying it was like really close again. Yeah, that would have been bad. Alexander James threw Logan into the ring post right at the start. And as they're in the crowd, Alexander James has his foot on Logan's throat as he's on a chair, and then he does his little bow that he does. I thought that looked really cool.
I just thought he was standing on the chair. I couldn't see.
Logan is doing something illegal, and ref gets in there to stop him, and Logan's like, "Don't touch me." And then somebody from the crowd says, "Yeah, touch him," just to ignore him. And then he gets a clothesline from hell from Alexander James. He nearly took his head off. It looked really impressive. Alexander gets a lock on, looking for the submission. And at this point, I'm looking like, all right, who's coming through the curtain? Where's Bobby? Where's Gunner? Where's Jean-Jean Le Bon? Nothing happened. And Logan made it to the rope, and that's it. Because we were both sure that Logan was going to win. Do you have the ending for this?
Yes.
Okay.
So, Logan, he has a So he hits the ref, so the ref, he's unconscious.
Yeah, it was Alexander James pushed him into Logan into the ref by accident. That certainly wasn't supposed to, well, it obviously was supposed to happen, but anyway.
And so Logan has a chair, and then Alexander James gets it from Logan, and then he wants to hit him, but then Bobby comes out, makes Alexander James throws it. And then Bobby Shields pushes in another chair, and then I think it was a brain buster or whatever. He did that for the win.
Now, I got a few little things just to add a few more details to that. Logan went into, it was a low blow.
Yeah.
That's what took Alexander James out. And he went into the crowd to pick up a chair. He took one from a young girl. He got the young girl to move and stole her chair. What a good heel move that was. He lifts the chair above his head, and he's about to deliver that chair shot, and you're like, this is it. And then actually Alexander James spat in his face, which worked really well, made Logan drop the chair, and then that reversed the roles. You're right, Bobby came in. Now, he put in that second chair, and it looked like he was trying to slam his face into it. He didn't even hit that chair, so I don't know if that was a missed spot or something, or that second chair didn't even need to do anything at all. Alexander James got pinned. It was the 1, 2, 3, and that was it. There was loud chants of, thank you, AJ, but also, please don't go as well.
Yes.
And no, I thought it was a really good match. I really liked it.
And at the end of Nova Project, he was selling merch. And so people who wanted an autograph could get one for the last time.
Yeah, and we've got his card,
Yes.
so we already have his autograph. But a few quotes. At Prince of Pro himself said, "Thank you at VA Wrestling and all its loyal fans. See you down the road." We might get to see him at some point in the future, possibly. At Reed H. Cooper. I don't know where a Prince of Pro is headed, but it's probably back to, and some wrestling company in Germany I'm not going to pronounce, or maybe reigning over at Combat Zone. Finally, or maybe something completely different. But wherever it is, I appreciate his time and work at VA Wrestling and anywhere before and future. At Mike Hammond VA, not really surprised that Logan Laroux won. The biggest 1% issue is what happens when Gunnar Miller returns. So there's still some storylines for the 1%. And at Profound Demon, I am all about Alexander James because I saw his third match in that Kenny Johnson documentary about Adam Cole. So I posted, well, I know what I'm watching tonight. I really like Kenny Johnson's documentary. I'm still wondering when that PCO one's coming out. Not sure, but I would certainly like to watch one on. Yeah, I'd certainly like to watch one about Adam Cole as well, and particularly if we can recognise Alexander James in that one.
Match 12. Angelus, Layne, Keller, Calloway versus Allie, Brittany Nick.
Well, last time we saw these people, Terra Calloway beat 4 people, but she actually lost to Brittany Blake and Penelope Ford at Summer George. Angelus Layne defeated Allie Cat by countout at Harlem Nights. Hey, Mason, what you got?
So, for pre-match, I have Allie Cat comes out with a cast on her.
Yes, she got injured.
Yes.
Yep, after Nova Pro last time.
So, she has a cast, and then multiple times she tries to, scratch or, punch her. And
Well, scratch, because she's a cat. That's what she likes to do.
And then she has her, and then 2 fingers popping out of the cast, and the rest says no.
She said, I just want to scratch you.
Yeah, I just want to scratch her.
Now, I want to talk about that cast. A couple of things about Allie. First of all, her hair was pink, which was certainly a change for us. And she was obviously wearing that cast. Now, I thought I saw on Twitter that she'd actually have that cast cut off. It looked like it. It showed you the doctors, and it looked like they had the saw there where they cut it off. So I'm not sure if they just put her on back inside it for effect, and then if you got to use that later, not sure. And what I didn't realise, Brittany Blake, we've seen her at MCW. She's currently the MCW Women's Champion. Yeah, she's actually going to defend that title next Saturday. One thing I do want to talk about at the start of the match, because you didn't. They definitely double-teamed Terra. Is it Terra Calloway?
Yeah.
I just get her name mixed up. And I thought that was a good idea, because she just basically ran through 4 people last time.
Yeah.
And I think that was a good idea to take her out and actually make the match reasonable. And then when Angelus finally did come in, she tried to take out both of the 2 girls, and they both stepped aside, and she actually ran straight into Terra Calloway. That was the first botch. That was the first thing. It's like, ooh, that could really upset Terra Calloway. Anyway, what else have you got?
So for that, Carlo O'Hara wasn't there if Terra
she wasn't.
Calloway would have turned on her.
Now, I did wonder. I said also Skyler wasn't there. I wonder if this was supposed to be a 3-on-3 originally. I did wonder that. I'm trying to think what other matches they would be in. But it would make sense that Harlow would be with that group, and then Skyler would have to go somewhere. So I'm wondering if that was supposed to be 3-on-3.
So I have that for the match at Terra Calloway, she had a knee brace. And so handcuffs, when she kicked out, handcuffs fell out. That was dangerous because they're heavy.
Well, that wasn't supposed to happen. And that comes back from the story from 2 events ago where Allie Cat got chained up and then she couldn't make it back to the town. And yeah, no, you could see the look on Angelus's face. That was not supposed to happen. And she just put him down a shirt and then she could use them later on. So I don't think that was supposed to happen at all.
I think Terra Calloway is supposed to use them later, not Angelus. So that was some good, switching roles there.
Yeah, they had to improvise pretty quickly there, yeah.
Later in the match, she had the handcuffs and she got them lost in her shirt, and then she reached down in there, she got them out, and Allie slapped them, and it went behind 2
All right, you're missing something before that, though. She tried to hit Allie Cat with them, and she actually hit Terra with them instead. So that was the second moment where she actually hurt her own partner. But yes, later on, they got swatted. They went a long way into the crowd.
That might have hit somebody.
Could have done,
and then went over
that wasn't in control. That wasn't in control. That was a swat, and they could have gone anywhere. But that looked really impressive. I actually have a lot of things for this match. I don't think they're really all necessary. I think everything we've covered so far is actually pretty good. At the end, Allie's cast actually came off, and it actually looked like she was in pain. Now, I couldn't tell if she was just selling, because I thought the cast wasn't supposed to be there anyway. Now, the crowd was expecting Terra to actually turn on Angelus. and it didn't actually happen. And I put on here originally, perhaps when Harlow returns, they may both turn on Angelus. That's what I thought when I actually left Nova Pro. Now, we actually know a lot more within the last 24 hours. We're recording this Saturday night. At Mike Hammond VA, really seems like not only did Alley Cat take care of Gothic business, but maybe even Angelus Layne. Weird way she left the ring after losing that match. Could mean nothing. We found out more later. At VA Agent Mike. She's not on Twitter anymore, and I know she just wanted to fade away, but I want to publicly thank Angelus Layne for everything she's done for Nova Pro, both as a performer and as a locker leader. Behind the storyline were two people that were friends for a long time, and Nova Pro and our women's division wouldn't be where it is if it weren't for some of those moments we created during that run. He continued on a second tweet, although I'm sad now, I'm sure a lot of us feel the same way. I'm happy I was in a position to allow her to finish her career on her own terms. I'm happy for my friend. Long live the Bride of Frankenstein. I was shocked by that.
Career?
I had no idea. So it looks like she's not just leaving Nova Pro. It looks like that might be it. That might be the end of her career. I had no idea. Also from at Terra Calloway, the best friend a girl could ever ask for. I have no words for how special you are. Thank you for always being there for me through thick and thin. My maid of honor and the only person I could have by my side on my biggest day. I love you. That was really surprising. So I'm guessing, obviously, Harlow, Horror, and Terra Calloway will still be Gothic. And yeah, I think that's the last we saw of Angelus. But I don't think people realised that ahead of time.
No.
Perhaps the inside people knew, but I don't think the fans realised that.
Match 13, Jordan Grace versus Hot Sauce Tracy Williams.
Okay, the main event. Last time, Jordan Grace beat Shotzi Blackheart at the Summer of George, and last time we saw Tracy Williams, he defeated Arik Royal at American Slang, which we didn't actually see because we were in England, but I watched it on Powerbomb TV. Okay, what you got for this one, mate?
So I have is the end.
The end, all right. Okay, what have I got? As Jordan enters, she is in the ring from our perspective and goes to the right where Maddie was. She then went to the left where the camera was, and she sort of does her pose, and like everyone's throwing string. Maddie threw a streamer. It was pathetic. It barely made it to the end. I think that's our new segment. We've got to keep an eye on Maddie when she throws streamers, because they never seem to go. It was kind of an embarrassment. I pointed to it. I saw that. It barely made it into the ring. It was really funny, and nowhere near where Jordan was. What else have we got? Oh, Hot Sauce, as he took off his shirt, clearly had a shoulder injury, and someone behind us said straight away, attack the shoulder. Now, you thought Jordan Grace was going to win this one. And I actually wasn't really sure. I actually thought Jordan Grace could win this one as well. I know she's fought, I always get the name mixed up, Brian Cage recently in some really good matches. And I thought this might be her time for this one. I thought it was far too frantic to find out what was going down. But then I tried to write some stuff anyway. I did put the strength of Tracy Williams really impressed me. You don't see Jordan Grace thrown around a ring like that. She's normally the stronger of the two people. Jordan did suplex Hot Sauce as well. She slammed him into a ring post. Oh, and you heard a definite ding. I don't know what bounced off that. Excuse me. But yeah. And you noticed the bruise.
I saw that bruise looked like paint. It was so purple.
Yeah, it was. And I didn't notice. Once you pointed out, it was, yeah.
It had a little bit of light blue on it.
Mm-hmm. I also put there was a suicide dive by Jordan Grace, and she landed it as well. That looked really impressive. She was going right to left as we looked at it, but it was going straight towards the camera from the powerbomb. Jordan Grace tried for a pin, kick out at 2. And Hot Sauce won after a pin. But this was the part, I didn't really see what happened. I need to see the replay. Is Jordan Grace actually injured? We saw 2 refs come out. Now, I thought straight away she was, because Brian was about to come and say something, and then he ran off. And then they came out with the refs. And then he carried her to the back. Now, that made me think, well, if she's seriously injured, surely they would just wait for the paramedic or something. But afterwards, we actually hung around later because we wanted to talk to the Ugly Ducklings. We saw the wheelchair.
Yes.
So,
and she was with Gresham and Hot Sauce with her, half on her ankle. So that was serious.
Yeah. Now, I got a few other Twitter quotes, and he's going to mention more about Jordan in a second. At Childish Tycoon. Okay, we got to appease whatever demon, spirit, etc. that's causing the JCC to be cursed with injuries. There has been a lot of injuries. That was the Mia Yim injury. Innocent Isaiah as well. There's been a lot of injuries at those matches, so that's not a good thing. And now Jordan Grace as well, obviously. At AJ_Doug, at Nova Project 4 was a great card filled with a lot of emotions, a roller coaster of emotions for sure, too many to name. Great show, great night. And I thought that was a good summary for this as well. Now, I also saw from Powerbomb TV, thanks for tuning in to at VA Wrestling's Nova Project 4. We'll be back streaming live tomorrow night at 8:30 p.m. at Black Label Pro's Darkest Timeline Tournament. Jordan Grace was front center on that poster. So obviously she won't be appearing in that now, which is a real shame. At Jordan Grace, and I saw that when I woke up this morning, I have a huge month in October, resting for a solid 6 days and hoping for the best. That's not great, but then she continues, this wasn't nearly as bad as it could have been, so that's a good sign. I just won't be jumping from high places for a while. Also, I'm very bad at using crutches. So she's obviously got a sense of humor about it as well, but I took that as a really positive sign that she's starting to make jokes about it as well. Anything else before we go to absolutely the post-show?
No.
All right, so in the post-show, we saw Arik. Now, we've been asking for a few times in a row, hey, you got any 8x11s? We want a picture for our collection. He's like, yeah, I don't have any right now. But he did say at the last one he would sign your jersey for you. So we went over. Do you want to talk about this?
She had the 8x10s. And then we got one of them, and he signed my jersey, too.
Yeah, he did. We got a picture.
For a little bit.
Uh-huh. Yeah, we talked to him about, particularly because of LeBron James. We mentioned the fact that your grandma lives close to that place. And also, we mentioned that it's been a year since we've been there, which we haven't really talked about so far. This was a year. We went to Nova Project. It was our first one. And he said, oh, you saw my match with Logan. And you're yawning right now, which is appropriate. That's how I felt a year ago. I think I had to be up super early. You had a field trip. And we actually saw like 5 minutes of that match, and we left. And we caught it late. Yeah. But yeah, no. So we did see it. And yeah, what a match that was. We caught up with Rob. Now, this is the part where we've got to go into a little bit of detail. Matt Willis, who's not in my good books right now, without even telling us, he actually sent to me at one point, he sent me an email. I was like, I need to talk to you urgently about the podcast. I was like, oh, God, what's happening? He's like, I may have asked some people if they'll do an interview with you. I'm like, oh, good grief. I just don't like asking people to do interviews. I don't think it's our thing, really. Big Gold Belt podcast does a great job at that. So does Squared Circle. And there's a few other ones. Kick Out at 2 interviews a lot of Nova Pro people. We have our own little niche thing. So we talked about it, and they were pretty much up for doing anything that we wanted to do. So we actually did, we said we'd do a quiz with them. Are you smarter than the 4-year-old? And that's what we have at the end, which we'll play as we're finishing out. Anything else that you noticed before we get to that interview?
We saw the ring being taken down, which is kind of cool, and we saw some leftover basketballs.
Yeah, all the stuff under the ring, yeah.
Yeah, so
yeah, it was interesting how quickly they take that ring down. I have no idea. I don't know how long it takes to put up, but the speed it comes down was impressive. The chairs, it was weird. They fold them up and just throw them on the ground. We're like, whoa, what? Then they come around, they stack them all up. And it was interesting to see how they do that tidying up process. We've never really seen it. Yeah, we saw a few other wrestlers around there as well. We saw Jordan going out on the wheelchair. And we waited for Lance. We had Coach Mikey, we had Rob, but we were waiting for Lance, and then Lance came, and then we did our quiz. And I think that's what you're going to hear at the end. And I think that actually wraps it up for this episode. I don't know what the next one's called. I know it's in October. I know we're excited because PCO is going to be there. And we also know Marco Stunt's going to be there, who you didn't see. So I know that'll be a good one. Amazingly, Mason, that's going to be A10. We're going to be in double digits. Actually, technically, we are in double digits already because we also released last week Z1, the very first Nova project. That actually got lost on my laptop. We were going to save it in case we ever needed a spare episode. My computer broke. We nearly forgot about that. I think that does it for us.
All right, we've just finished Nova Project 4.
I'm Rob Killjoy.
I'm Lance Load.
I'm Coach Mikey. And we are
the Ugly Ducklings! Quack!
All right, that's still your only line, Mason, because that was what you were going to do. You were going to introduce
no.
That's fine. He's happy.
Rewind it. Let's
he
go.
Didn't want to speak. We'll give you a chance in a second. Now, we got Matt Willis to thank for this. He approached you guys and said we'd do an interview. I said, we don't really do interviews.
I was like, what you talking about, Willis?
Exactly. He gets that all the time. What we're going to do instead, then, is we're going to do a quiz for the benefit of Jackson. Yeah, so I got a special quiz
What's
for
up,
you.
Jackson?
Hey, Jackson.
Now, Jackson's already done the quiz, so I actually know what his score is. He's sleeping soundly
You're not going to tell us the score yet.
I'm not going to tell you the score.
You can't sleep on the ducks. You can't sleep on the ducks, Graham.
So what we got for you guys then is wrestlers or ducks. And ducks is in Anaheim Ducks, the hockey team, okay? So I'm going to give, Mason's going to get, all right, Mason, this was supposed to be your introduction, so go ahead. Who have we got with us today?
So we got the Ugly Ducklings, Lance Lude, Rob Killjoy, and Coach Mikey.
Perfect.
And we are
the Ugly
Ducklings.
We already did that, Mike.
Sorry.
And this has all gone messed up anyway, because I was supposed to say this is our 1 year anniversary. We came to Nova Project 3, and the first person we saw was Sanjay Dutt, but then the second person we saw was you guys. We had no idea who you were. We knew who Sanjay Dutt was. You pestered us for the whole time. You never let up on us, and then we were coming to buy something from you anyway.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so this is the 1 year anniversary. So this is pretty cool that we get to do this with you. All right, Mason, go ahead. Number one. So you guys are gonna do this as a team, right? You're gonna confirm and then tell us what you think the answer's gonna be.
Well, I mean, we're always.
You've got a team. It's tag team, right? You got to work together. All right, go ahead, Mason. Number one.
Together.
Okay, the first one is Corey Collins.
Corey Collins.
Character development.
Quack.
I'm going hockey player.
Wrestler.
What?
All right. Is that your decision, guys? I'm just writing down the answers and I'll tell you the score later.
That's a wrestler. Okay. Yeah, it's a wrestler. I worked him back in '93.
I'm only seeing one person saying this right
down
now.
in Tennessee. He's a good baby.
I know 2 Anaheim Ducks, and if you say them,
I didn't pick the famous ones.
okay.
I recognize some of them. I'm like, you're not having them.
What was that? Paul Correa?
He hasn't played for a long time. He doesn't
There's a
play
guy that has
anymore.
like a
Emilio
name last
Estevez.
Salant.
Give us another one.
All right, what are we going for on this one though? First, you got to pick this one. Oh, he's going wrestler then.
Yeah, let's go wrestler.
All right, number 2,
okay,
Mason.
we'll switch off. You pick wrestler on the first one. This next one goes to me.
Okay. That sounds fair.
The second one is Dale Houston.
Wrestler.
Robert.
What?
I'm gonna go wrestler anyway. Not influenced by Robert.
Well, it doesn't make any difference, Lance. You don't have any choice, really. This is how we do our fantasy picks as well.
Nailing it.
I'll ask
I'm
Mason and
crushing
Jackson.
this. We are
If 2
crushing
pick,
this.
I don't get a pick.
You don't have to tell us.
All right, number 3.
You don't have to tell us we're doing better than everybody else who's done this, but I mean, we are. Quack.
Okay, number 3
We've got Josh
is...
Fuller in here. Hi, Josh.
Hello.
We'll get you next time, okay?
Next time.
If you want to play a quiz, we got you next time.
Okay.
Okay, number 3 is Hunter Drew.
Wrestler.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I wrestled for him before.
Wrestled for him? Yeah, me too.
I think we're doing terrible.
I think we're nailing it.
I've never met any of these ducks.
You're going to have to name a perfect score of the Ugly Ducklings.
It was either this or the Oregon Ducks. And I was like, we're wearing hockey jerseys, so I was like, we got to pick the Anaheim
That's not a real
All right, number 4.
The fourth one is Kiefer Sherwood.
That is a hockey player.
He was
Hockey
on
player.
24.
You write hockey player down. Don't listen to that one.
Yeah,
That
he
definitely
was. He was
sounds like a
actor.
hockey player.
He was on 24. It was the Lost Boys. What was his name?
Next question.
We're good with. Okay, we're ready to pick hockey. Boss has decided. Number 5, Mason. He doesn't know the answers either, so he can't help you.
Only 26
Mike
more of these to go.
Rosselli.
Rosselli?
That sounds like.
He makes spaghetti.
Italian.
That sounds
Italian.
like he
Possibly
teamed with
Greek.
like Brooklyn Brawler in like the 80s.
Quack.
Let's say a wrestler. Is that a wrestler? Are we going wrestler?
Okay, Steve Buscemi, wrestler.
Let's go wrestler.
Wrestler.
Okay, the next one is Mike Webster.
Mike Webster.
That is a wrestler.
Mikey Webb.
The inventor
Webb.
of the dictionary.
Yeah.
Yes.
Remember, Webster's
But he
dictionary?
wrestled in his spare time, right? Or did he play hockey?
He wrestled as a hockey player.
Was he Canadian? But you heard.
Come on, help us out.
I looked at the names. I didn't look at any. I don't know any of the biographies of these people.
All right, okay. Pass.
Wrestler. That's it.
All right, wrestler. All right, we got 3 more. Number 7, Mason.
Mitch Holt.
That's a hockey player. Just write it down. We can need more hockey players.
Number 8.
Hockey player.
Okay, the next one is Sam Steele.
Oh, that's a
Wrestler.
porn star.
We might need a little editing on this later. That's all good.
I'm sorry. I forgot what we were doing.
That's actually where this game come from. It came from the Wrestling Perspectives podcast. P.D. Williams, his wife knows nothing about wrestlers.
Hockey
and
player.
they actually played that. Is it adult film star or wrestler?
That's
and
amazing.
it was hilarious. Sasha Banks is a tough one for him too. All right, I'm sorry. What did we go
Sam
with?
Steele?
It was Sam Steele, right?
Yeah.
That's
Sam
a good wrestler
Steele.
name.
That's a hockey player.
shit name.
It's a trick in us.
It's on you then, Lance, I think.
I said wrestler. Just say
Because you
wrestler.
guys have gone different to each other.
Hockey player.
Hockey player. Okay.
The next one is Troy Terry.
Troy Terry's got 2 first names, so I don't trust him. Troy Terry.
He sounds like he was
Terry
Houston.
Houston, Texas
Terry
Rangers,
Taylor.
New York
Walker.
Rangers hockey
Walker.
player.
Texas
Ranger.
New
Texas
York
Ranger.
Rangers. That's hockey.
Hockey player.
Wrestler.
Texas Rangers is baseball.
Hockey player.
What did I say? The New York Rangers, pretty sure.
Oh, New York Rangers.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. I said,
Walker was the
so
Texas
last
Ranger.
one, number 9. What are we going with?
This is the last
The one you don't trust. Troy Terry. What are you going with?
Hockey player.
Wrestler.
Hockey player.
It's on you, Coach Mikey.
wrestler.
You're going on wrestler, so it was 2 wrestlers.
Yeah,
All right,
he
now,
got pay you back.
Jackson played this game pretty weird. He said wrestler for every single one.
That's smart man.
Which I didn't want to tell you at the start, and I thought you guys were going to follow the same,
what I
because you
did.
went wrestler, wrestler,
Yeah,
wrestler.
what I did.
You actually did the best, I think, of anyone who's ever done this
I
so
told
far.
you we're
You guys actually got 7 out of 9. What? The only ones you got wrong were number 3, the first 2. Corey Collins is a wrestler. Dale Houston is a wrestler. Hunter Drew is a hockey player.
Well, I've never heard of him, so who would they ever be?
Kiefer Sherwood, he was a hockey player, you got that?
Yes.
Mike Roselli, you were right, was a wrestler. Mike Webster was a wrestler. See, I thought I'd mess with you. You're not going to put 2 mics and make them both the same, but you guys figured it out. Mitch, is that Mitch? Mitch Holtz, you said hockey player, correct. Sam Steele, after your initial guesses, it was a hockey player. And Troy Terry was actually a hockey player as well. 7 out of 9.
7 out of 9.
Jackson only got 4 out of 9, so congratulations, guys.
Better luck
you
next
are smarter
time,
than a 4-year-old.
Yeah, we bested Jackson.
It's not fair that was 3-on-1.
Quack.
Hey, touche.
That's
So
true.
who's got it here?
It was a handicap match, but we thought we'd make it fair.
If you divide
handy
our
quack
score
match.
by 3,
Oh, we like that. Handy quack match. That's good.
if
That's
you
going in
divide
the,
our
that's
score
going in the
by 3, we
podcast
technically
notes.
lost.
But
How many did he get?
The score by
He
Yeah,
got 4.
you guys got
He only
4.
got 4. You got 7.
We got 3 point.
And how old is he?
4.
Actually got
He's not
3
5 until
3 point.
February.
And he only got 4?
No, we got 3
He
point.
says he wants to do a hockey podcast,
Yeah.
though, so hockey is supposedly a specialist subject, so I try to help
I don't know.
him.
Well, he guessed wrestling for everyone.
All right, my phone's probably about dead here. Is it still actually recording? Oh, it's still recording. All right.
Hey.
I thought this might have been on
We
Facebook
are
podcast
the
or
Ugly
something.
Ducklings.
Yeah. Oh, Copper Spaniel.
We gotta end this
Spaniel. Hey.
really quick with only one thing.
All right.
Only one
It's
thing.
a joke.
Bring
Okay,
it in.
here's the
Oh,
joke. No, we're not doing
Oh.
the joke.
No, we're not going
Can I
to
say
do
the joke?
No. I
Can I
mean,
say
if
the
you want
joke?
to, it's real stupid.
It's a great joke. All right, there. What do you
Hurry up,
call
Mikey,
it? What do
the
you?
26%.
What do you call a dog police officer?
Well, I would have said Officer Magnum from even Nova Pro, but that's obviously not. That's not a joke answer.
A copper spaniel.
How about
Very
it?
good.
Quack.
Quack, 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 quack.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
That was really
so
cool.
much fun.
The music was Zigzag by Kevin MacLeod at incompetech.com, licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 3.0, http://creativecommons.org/licenses/by/3.0/.